And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television. Throughout the summer, Democrats cruelly blocked COVID relief legislation. These are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management. $25 billion to combat Asian carp. $2.5 billion to count the number of amberjack fish for reef fish management. For reef fish management. $25 billion to combat Asian carp. To combat Asian carp. Asian carp. $2.5 billion to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. A provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries. $3 million in poultry production technology. $2 million to research the impact of downtrees.
And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it. They had a very bad original concept.
For the family members of illegal aliens,
carried out,
allowing them to get up
and
to
the cover-up was one of the worst in the history
each.
of cover-up.
This is far
Very
more
simple.
than the
Bad
American
deal,
dream.
should have never been thought
Despite all
of.
of this wasteful spending,
Somebody
much
really
more,
messed up,
the $900
and they had the worst
billion
cover-up
package
ever.
provides hardworking taxpayers
and where it should have stopped
with only
is at the deal
$600
standpoint
each
when they
to
thought
relief
about it.
pay.
Because whoever thought of
And
that
not
idea,
enough money is given to small
I
business
think is in big trouble.
and in particular restaurants whose owners have not opened. $7 million for reef fish management to combat Asian carp. To combat $5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in carp. $25 billion to combat Asian carp. Asian carp. Eight months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help. And this is on live television.
The truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. The truth of the matter is
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you, shame on you." Fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Look, talk about education. School, not daycare. School, school. Not sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting?
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, "Pigs in a blanket," talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon.
Hello? Is this thing on? Whoa. Holy Macintosh. Yo, it's on. Yo, OBS froze, like legit froze as soon as I clicked the button on there. Right? Like, you know, like as the intro's ending and I'm getting ready, I start recording the audio version at the same time. And as soon as I started doing that, my screen just froze, and I was like, uh-oh, is it happening again? And then it didn't happen again. So we're good. All right. Hello, Unknown Story. Hello, William Diem. Hello, Nicholas Nordland. Hello, Don. Hello, Bongo Dave. Hello, Unknown Story once again. Hello, Endless Cemetery. Hello, Bodan Svedrik. Hello, Unknown Story once again. Hello, Endless Cemetery once again. Hello, Billiam Dillium once again. There you go. All right. Bodan, how are you doing? What's the weather today in North Carolina? It's actually not bad. Let me look it up, actually. Let me get you the weather. Let's see. It is currently a cool 17 degrees in my city in Northern Carolina. 17 degrees centigrade, of course, because I'm a civilized individual and I use centigrade instead of Fahrenheit because, let's be honest, I'm not a teenager. So, but I hope everyone's having a good day today. I've made an executive decision, and I just want to get this out of the way first of all. I'm having a lot of fun mocking the Jimmy Dore superfans on my channel, and I'm just throwing this out there. If that's upsetting to anyone that actually cares about my channel in any capacity, I'm sorry. But it's been really, really funny to make fun of them, and I got some really good fucking comments that I'm going to go into today, as well later on. But it's extremely fucking funny, and I'm sorry if you think it's childish. It is childish. I just want to say that it is childish, but it is also extremely funny. So I'm just throwing that out there. If that upsets you, I'm sorry about that, but I will be covering that at some point today, because it's just funny. It's just fucking funny. You were in Roanoke, NC a few months ago for work. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, it appears that I haven't read. I've got a CNBC article here, so I'm just gonna like toss this on and see like what's going on. Like, apparently the House GOP is blocking the Corona bill. Uh-oh, right? Let's check this out. All right. I have not read this article before, so we'll see. This apparently was a couple minutes ago. December 24th at 6:48 a.m. So yeah, a couple minutes ago. Updated a couple minutes ago. See, look. See, I told you I wasn't wrong. It was updated a couple minutes ago. All right, so literally that's like 5 minutes ago. See, this is breaking news, everybody. This is what I do. This is what I do. This is what this show is here for. I'm giving you breaking news. You know, like, I gotta get those, like, show effects where it goes, like, and I gotta get, like, a sound drop where it goes, like, and then it has, like, breaking news come on the screen. Yeah, we have Nancy Pelosi wearing a mask with, is that, like, supposed to be a pride wristband? I'm not sure what that is. Her hand looks very ghoulish here. Her hand looks like she's, like, a Dark Souls boss, you know, like, reaching out of, like, the fucking abyss or something. Like, what is going on here? Like, does it, seriously, I don't, like, what is that? Imagine, like, in what context would you make this hand gesture? In what context would you make this hand gesture? Seriously? Seriously. Okay, so, right, okay, so imagine, right, you're up there doing a speech and you just do this. Like, that's worse than this. Like, this is pretty bad, but what the hell is this? Seriously, I have no idea what's going on there. Maybe, like, there's hand stretches, you know, to make sure her fingers, like, continue to function. I'm not sure what's going on there. But now that I've got the ad hominem out of the way, let's read this article. House Republicans on Thursday blocked a Democratic attempt to pass $2,000 direct payments to Americans as the fate of the massive coronavirus relief package passed by Congress earlier in the week hangs in the balance. The Democrats moved to increase the size of the checks after President Donald Trump threatened to oppose the $2 trillion pandemic aid and federal funding bill because it included only $600 in direct payments rather than $2,000. Congress passed the proposal Monday after Trump took no role in weeks of talk. The plan included $900 billion in coronavirus relief. trying to cap the plan's cost, more of Trump's Republican Party sought $600 in direct payments rather than $1,200 passed in the CARES Act in March, which, reminder, AOC voted for. Neoliberal corporate sellout, everybody. Reminder. I'm just kidding, of course, but I'm sorry. I know I'm getting meta. In criticizing the year-end legislation, Trump also pointed to foreign aid spending, which Washington includes in funding bills every year. Just, interesting that Donald Trump didn't mention that we were giving money to Israel in his speech. Reminder, he was all about listing off every Latin American country: Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, but he didn't mention Israel. That's interesting. I don't know. It's almost like he's trying to demonize people of certain countries and not other countries. Really interesting. Really makes you think. Okay, let's read more. The House tried to pass the $2,000 payments during a pro forma session on Christmas Eve day, a brief meeting of the chamber where typically only a few members attend. Democrats aimed to approve the measure by unanimous consent, which means any one lawmaker can block it. Rep. Steny Hoyer D. offered the proposal from the House floor, but was blocked because the measure was not approved by House Minority Leader Rep. Kevin McCarthy. And I can't wait to see what this guy's reasoning is. That's why I'm reading this. Subsequently, Rep. Rob Whitman, R.Va., attempted to get lawmakers to reconsider aspects of the spending bill related to foreign aid. That move was blocked by Democrats. So here's the reason why I'm so interested in the minutia of this. I know that the House can pass this bill. I'm well aware that the House can pass this bill without, they just need to wait for an actual legislative day. Right? I understand that. But this is interesting. I don't know if you can hear that, but Cheeto's having a meltdown downstairs. This is interesting because Donald Trump is trying to just make a massive populist gesture, and the Democrats are on board with it, and the Democrats control the House in this instance, right? So it's like anything the Republicans do is now because Donald Trump made the conversation about $2,000 checks, right? Yeah. Die-hard Republicans they're gonna probably be like the foreign aid. It's not about much about the foreign aid. Yeah, sure, but those guys are wackadoodle. No one cares about them, right? The normal, everyday Americans they just scrolled through TikTok and saw a headline of Trump saying he wants $2,000, and that's in their brain, right? So anything at this point that delays this package, right? Especially if the Republicans are the ones delaying it. Anything at this point is going to, in the minds of regular Americans, be pinned on the Republicans. I think the Democrats played this game perfectly in response. Hello, Max. I know Cheeto's having a meltdown downstairs. That does not mean that this video is just okay for you to intrude on. But, it's okay. It's all right. She's a loud doggy. I understand. Okay, so House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said in a statement after her party's measure failed that she would hold a full recorded vote on the proposal for $2,000 payments on Monday. If the president is serious about the $2,000 payments, he must call on the House Republicans to end their obstruction, Pelosi said. Democrats have called on Trump to sign the coronavirus relief and government funding bill into law and to support this separate cash payment plan. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell... Max, what the fuck are you doing? Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and McCarthy, the top two Republicans in Congress, and their aides have been silent on Trump's demand for bigger checks. But McCarthy... Oh, Max, you cannot go down here. Max, I'm sorry, everybody. Max, I swear to God, if you go underneath this desk and it falls apart and falls on you, it's not my fault. Max, please do not come down here. Max is being a naughty doggy. All right, Max. You're stuck now. I know. It's okay. You're stuck. I know. You shouldn't have gone down there and you regretted it. It's okay. All right. This dang dog, everybody. The dang dog. All right, let's read. McCarthy, in a letter late Wednesday to Republicans, described a countermove his party planned to make on Thursday. that would seek changes to the foreign aid component of the spending bill. It is unclear who would be eligible for the $2,000 payments in the Democrats' plan. In the aid and government funding bill, individuals who earn up to $75,000 and couples filing jointly who make up to $150,000 would receive the full $600. In addition, the measure would pay $600 for each dependent child. Trump did not address the payments to children. If Trump vetoes the legislation, Congress may have enough support to override his action. However, depending on how quickly the more than 5,000-page bill gets to his desk after formal enrollment, he could let it die by refusing to sign it before the new session of Congress starts at noon ET on January 3rd. All right, this is all minutia garbage. All right, so what's important here is that the Republicans are blocking it. Like I said before, right? People already have in their mind, Trump wants $2,000, right? And again, immediately after that news broke, Democrats signed on. So all the news that everyday normal, non-diehard sycophant Republican fanboys, right? Everyday normal Americans are just seeing Trump and Democrats agree. And now they're going to wake up today. And then they're going to see that the Republicans are blocking the legislation. And I think that that's going to have a heavy effect on the Georgia Senate runoffs, right? Again, because not that many people are like, oh, wait, there's Republicans in the Senate and the House. A lot of people don't know the difference between those things, right? So if these people are going to vote, and I'm not trying to shit on the voter, right? But if these people are going to vote and the last thing that they read is the GOP is blocking a relief package, they're going to vote against them in the Senate runoffs. And so this is pretty good. I love the drama aspect of this. That's my favorite part. So, hell yes. But we'll see how this goes. Obviously, I would prefer this bill to have like a bunch of rewriting in it. Obviously, right? But at the same time, I think it's a good thing for Democrats to put a lot of political pressure on the Republican Party, and especially if it gets to Mitch McConnell's desk in any fashion. Because then the Senate is directly held accountable, right? So I think that this was a pretty badass play when it comes to the Georgia Senate runoff elections. And we'll see how it affects that. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Could all be a waste of time. But I hope I get $2,000. And I hope you get $2,000 because then you can give me your $2,000. Or at least, like 10% of it or 15 or 30 or, 80%. However percentage you want to give. But yeah, so that's my onion on Nancy Pelosi's hand. Still, what is that? Like, that hurts. This hurts my hand. Doing this, like, genuinely hurts. And Nancy Pelosi does this all day. Imagine taking that photograph. Like, imagine, like, you're, like, going through your photos, and it's like, you're going through your fucking, like, nude pictures and, like, the fucking memes that you save. And then you go through, like, oh, then that pops out. And it's like, oh, I forgot I took that Pelosi hand picture. And then it's like, holy shit, right? And, like, if you're, like, browsing your phone before bed, you wouldn't be able to sleep for another hour. I swear to God. Like, what is going on there? Like, unbelievable. They're not sending their best. Asian carp. You see that dang dog? Oh my God. Unbelievable. The best part of Above It All is when Max intrudes. I agree. I think it's a pretty good aspect. Absolutely. For those wondering, let me show you a little bit here. The below my desk has like a lot of like garbage under here, and this keyboard tray is broken. And so when it gets jiggled, it will fall. And it's glass and metal. So, like, I don't want Max going down there because, one, it's a little dirty because I'm kind of a piece of shit. And then, two, if he, like, hits it with his tail, the keyboard tray might fall out and, like, hit him on the head or something. And so I don't want him to get hurt. So I try not to let him. And plus, I've got like cables back here. And if he got hurt, he would get scared, and he'd probably try to run and then like pull out my Ethernet cord or like break something, So this is just kind of the no-go zone for Max the dog. Trump is a secret Antifa member. There you go. The other politician gesture is the fist. Exactly. I said that earlier, Don. This is, though, however, this is way worse than this, without a doubt. Instead of force the vote, we should be talking about building support for all of the things that Biden can do without Congress. Google for David Day on Day One agenda and Google News consensus. Absolutely. I'm the most interested in legalization of marijuana. I'm also very interested in just wiping out student loan debt. I'm also very interested in being able to do direct stimulus payments via other kind of means and stuff like that. There's a lot on the table for that, but let's be honest, Joe Biden ain't gonna do shit. Let's be honest. All right, so I could talk about Jimothy, or I could go even further, and I can break this. I can just have a good time. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna talk about my good friend Dickie Dawkins. So for those of you that don't know, when I was a fledgling teenager, I was a huge fan of Dickie Dawkins here, my good friend. Read all of his I Hate God books. Love that shit. Thought I was super smart because I was reading about biology, but I only read his books because I wanted to be a hardcore atheist, right? Well, I thought Dickie Dawkins was a hardcore atheist, but it turns out we've been rused. We've been hoodwinked, everybody. This motherfucker has betrayed us. This is the modern day Benedict Arnold, everybody. Dickie Dawkins is the modern day Benedict Arnold. He betrayed us the day before Christmas in the war on Christmas, everyone. And this is unbelievable. So Richard Dawkins says, Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry, Merry Holidays. Children, hang up holiday stockings on holiday eve for Father Holidays to fill. Sing holiday carols around the holiday tree after holiday dinner. I'm dreaming of a white holiday. You know what's really interesting is people in the UK literally call, like, I'm going out for holiday or whatever. They use the word holiday way more than Americans do, which I find really funny here. This is like something you'd see like Bill O'Reilly say in 2007, right? Well, here's one atheist wishing you a Merry Christmas, right? And so now Dickie Dawkins, I did not even see this. This is a stunning new development here from Dickie Dawkins. Weird. Twitter received a complaint from Germany about my Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays tweet. I should have thought about that. Of all my tweets, it's about as innocent as they come. Maybe a hidden meaning of which I'm unaware. A hidden meaning! Anyway, Twitter, of course, taking no action. A hidden meaning! This motherfucker, again, Dickie Dawkins, not sending their best. Dickie Dawkins is the Joe Biden of the new atheist world. And what I mean by that is this guy's brain is melting out of his earballs right now. Because, like, I have no idea what's going on. Seriously, how is an atheist going to say Merry Christmas? That kind of fucks my whole thing up, right? That kind of fucks all of our shit up. This is a massive war. And we got a high-level betrayal. But I guess this is making up for Melania Trump joining our side. Keep in mind, for those of you scorekeeping at home, Melania Trump actually betrayed the defensive regime of the war on Christmas and came into the battalion, the anti-fascist 3rd Battalion on the front lines of Santa Claus's nest or whatever the fuck he's got. So keep in mind, so Melania Trump's on our side, so they can take Dickie Dawkins, I guess. I don't know if it's an even trade, but it's certainly going to make things interesting. And the war on Christmas is only going to be even more interesting up until tomorrow. So we'll see how this goes, everyone. But definitely batten down the hatches. And, how, you got the helmet, right? And then you got the straps. Make sure that your straps are tucked in, right? Because you don't want the helmet to fall off and then have like a rock land on your face or something, right? So strap on your helmets, brace for impact, because this is going to be one hell of a war on Christmas. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We'd say Judas, but he's only just started believing in him. Fucking Judas. Unbelievable. That is true. Dickie Dawkins did invent memes. Maybe this is just a new meme. It's possible. It's possible. Maybe he's trying to, like, curry favor with the enemy ranks. And then he's gonna, like, pull the fucking spaghetti noodle out of the flying spaghetti monster. And that's going to open the secret compartment of the flying spaghetti monster, revealing an extremely embarrassing photo of, I don't know, someone at the Christmas party. I don't know. Anyway, there's my SpongeBob joke. There you go. I'm going to tack that on at the end there because that was very high quality. So anyway, now let's move on. So I've got, let's see. Why do you call it the War on Christmas? Bodan, ever since I was a kid, like, I'm talking, like, ever since I was, like, 8 years old, right? Every time I would go to school or my mom would drive me to school, we'd hear people on the radio complain because someone said Happy Holidays. Like, someone on the phone would call a radio show that we'd have on, and they would say Happy Holidays, and when they hang up, and then the radio, like, anchors would get upset. Happy Holidays? What? No, it's Merry Christmas, right? And then you have, like, Bill O'Reilly on Fox News, like, have people on to debate the merits of the war on Christmas, saying that atheists are trying to take over America. You can't say Christmas anymore. You have to say Happy Holidays. It's one of those, like, SJWs are trying to censor us things. So it's just really funny. But it's super American. And I guess now Dickie Dawkins is getting involved. So now it's super UK as well. Western Europe. I know, don't you hate those guys, right? But don't you hate those guys? But it's a war between who and who? Presumably, the Western chauvinists and the radical left SJWs are the two factions in the war on Christmas, I would imagine. All right. How's everyone doing today? Max the dog is currently deciding what to do with his life. Damn. Incredible. All right, so I've got one more thing that I'm going to talk about before I get into my extremely hilarious and extremely on-point mockery of Jimmy Dore fanboys. I know. Like I said before, I'm going to do like a daily Jimmy Dore segment until these people leave me alone. Because 1, it's free ad revenue. 2, it's really funny. And then 3, it's also hilarious. But until then, let's talk about Andrew Yang. Right, so Andrew Yang is he classified or certified or whatever the fuck. He submitted paperwork to run for the mayoral race in New York City, which I believe is in 2021. But we'll see how this goes, right? So I've got this article from The Hill. We'll read and then we'll see what they've got to say, and then we'll go at it. And I've actually got a plan, an interesting Andrew Yang plan. That, I love the Yang Gang. The Yang Gang and I might have disagreements every now and then, but Andrew Yang running for the mayorship or whatever of New York City, fuck yeah. That's a way better than him trying to run against Bernie Sanders in the primary, right? So I've got nothing but love for the Yang Gang. We're on the same team here. All right, so former 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang is currently among the favorites to in the 2021 New York City mayoral race, even as the businessman has yet to officially announce his candidacy, according to a poll released Monday. Now, I believe this article is a couple days old. This is 2 days old, and I think he filed the paperwork like yesterday or something, so I don't know. But the survey, conducted by Public Policy Polling and sponsored by Education Reform Now Advocacy New York, found Yang with a 1-point lead over Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams among likely Democratic primary voters. However, his lead is within the poll's 3.6% margin of error. The poll also included several other declared or potential candidates, with Maya Wiley, a former top counsel to New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, polling at 7%, and former Citigroup Vice Chairman Ray McGuire receiving 4%. Not bad for that guy, huh? The same survey found that the favorability for de Blasio, who cannot run again due to term limits, is at 39% compared to 56% who hold an unfavorable perception of the sitting mayor. The rating stands in contrast to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo D rating, with the leader registering 76% approval. Jesus Christ, who the fuck? Imagine living in New York, right? And then you get called by the pollster, and it's like, yeah, do you like Andrew Cuomo? And you're like, I love Andrew Cuomo. He's so good. He really is making me safe again, and I love him, and he's so like. Imagine doing that. Like, what? How can you like Andrew Cuomo? I have no idea. But anyway, I just want to say I support Andrew Yang running for the mayoral situation. right? And so let's talk about this. So Andrew Yang's core policy, right, is a universal basic income. My core policy is defunding the police. So let's work together. I saw this tweet on Twitter from Area Blooms. Hey, Andrew Yang, quick math. $6 billion of New York City Police Department money / 8 million New York City residents equals $750 citywide UBI. So, Andrew Yang, there you go. 2 birds with 1 stone. Defund the police and give us the money. I don't live in New York City, but I've got friends up there, and I'll tell them to vote for you, right? So there you go. I'm endorsing Andrew Yang for whatever, unless someone better runs. If someone better runs, then I'll endorse them, right? But, whatever. Whatever. I'm just saying, defund the police, use that money for a universal basic income. A brilliant fucking idea. Let's get it done. Especially after the New York City police have rained terror, right, on that city. I don't live there, right? But I have a lot of people that live there, so that, they give me the scoops, right? I saw this report recently that said that the New York City Police Department made every single protest more violent by nature of being there. There was some sort of were things peaceful up until the police came 9 times out of 10. I think it was actually 9.5 times out of 10 or whatever. It would be everything was peaceful until the police showed up. So, get rid of those motherfuckers. They're garbage, as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah, so there you go. That's my opinion on that. Hello, Reinhard Miller. They only cut some funding from the NYPD, and crime, particularly violent crime, skyrocketed. I have not seen any supporting evidence for that. But if you want to send me a report, that's fine. I have, however, seen around, I think it was in July, I think the New York City Police Department was well, if you like to fund the police so much, well then let's stop patrolling. And then crime actually plummeted when they had a 2-day experiment where they stopped patrolling as much. But you can make the argument that crime plummeted because they couldn't report the crimes. But then, right, then you have to wonder, well, what's a crime? Because they still had emergency services, so if someone was shot, that would still be counted. So most of these crimes that these people get pulled over for are maybe walking, jaywalking or something, so it's just, oh, you're gonna cite New York Post? Okay, all right, you'll cite New York Post. That's cool. That's fine. I can deal with that. All right, let's cite some New York Post. There you go. New York City's crime wave reaches a new height as this year's murder tally surpasses all of 2019. Alrighty, alright. So, again, we got to figure out what does crime mean in this instance. And again, New York Post, a very interesting source. Very interesting source. So, let's read this. Let's do a live reaction. I don't do this often, right? So, let's indulge. So, okay. New York City's crime wave reaches new height as this year's murder tally surpasses all of 2019. This is October 2nd. All right, so from the New York Post, of course. I hate that little thing that they do. Right, stay up there. Stay up there. Okay. New York City surpassed another grim crime milestone last month as the number of murders blew past all of 2019's tally. And there are still 3 months remaining in 2020, according to new data. So, another thing about this is, again, 2020 is a hell of an oddball year. There's been a lot of variables this year that were not present in 2019, and that's an extremely important thing. So can you say that a defund the police protest is what caused violent crime? I would say that's significantly less likely than, I don't know, a pandemic depression and 40 million people pending evictions. I would say 40 million pending evictions is probably more likely to have an impact on crime statistics than a defund the police protest. But again, that's just my opinion. So, the New York Police Department recorded 51 murders last month, or nearly double the 2019 figure for September, pushing the total number of homicides this year to 344. That is already the highest overall annual figure the city has seen since 2013, when 335 slayings were logged for that year, NYPD data shows. If the current pace holds, murders could surpass 400 for the year. The last time homicides ticked up above 400 was in 2012, when 419 were recorded, according to the New York Police Department. Again, 2012 was another era of it was the slow recovery from the housing crash. I mean, again, you can have directly tied links from the material conditions of everyday people, When you have people being evicted every single day, they've got nowhere to live, they're more likely to be engaged in violent crime. They're more likely to, join gangs, for example. They are more likely to do things that they wouldn't otherwise do. Poverty is the biggest indicator and the biggest, actually, supply side when it comes to crime. Reinhardt says, I would say there is a direct correlation between what I said or what are you saying? If they were stealing bread, your argument would be valid, but this is no need to murder people because you are hungry or facing eviction. That's not exactly a direct link. Again, unless you can examine all of these murders, right? You don't know the exact context. A lot of murders could happen because people's, anxieties are high, right? I'm not saying that, like, murder is I'm hungry, so it's okay to go murder someone. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is when you have people that are impoverished, malnourished, right, and poisoned by society, right, they are not going to be able to think properly. They are not going to be able to behave properly. They are more likely to engage in more violent crime. There's also a lot of people will rob people and mug people. And it's a lot easier to get away with mugging people if you kill someone, right? Because then there's no witness most of the time, right? So there's a lot of these situations where, again, if you think people chanting defund the police is a direct contributor to crime, there's no link between those things, but that's just, Meanwhile, shootings have more than doubled last month compared to the same time period in 2019. There were 67 shootings last September. Shootings are a lot more, again, people are way more likely to, say, rob a store and, shoot someone in the arm. Or, that's a very likely, thing to occur when you've got 40 million people pending evictions in the United States of America. I'm not just saying in New York, I'm just saying all across the country. There were 67 shootings last September, while there were 152 shooting incidents for the month this year, according to the data. The rising figures come as the department's gun enforcement numbers jumped by 300 arrests in its attempt to curb the epidemic of weapons violence that has marred an already bleak summer. Interesting. All right, so Reinhardt wants to say, between no cash bail and eliminating the plainclothes crime prevention units, I would say they're a direct cause of the surge in crime. Between no cash bail? What is that? I don't understand how that has to do with crime. And the plainclothes crime prevention units? I have no idea what that has to do with crime either. Plainclothes, especially in New York City, plainclothes police are usually just people that would harass people on the street for smoking marijuana or something, or trying to stop and frisk people. You need to prove a correlation. My argumentation is that when people are poor, when they're malnourished, right, when they've got access to guns, when they've got access to violence, and when they have very minimal options, they're more likely to resort in performing violent crime. That's just a fact. We see this, all throughout history. When there's food insecurity in any country, all throughout history, more people are engaging in riots, more people are engaging in violence when there's food insecurity because people want to feed themselves, right? So this is something that's historically provable. We've not had plainclothes police, throughout the entirety of the world, and we've also had periods of prosperity with low crime rates, so I have no idea where plainclothes police have to do with crime rates, but if you want to explain that. I'm not going to read the rest of this. I mean, again, look at the situation like the unrest in Minneapolis or other cities, right? What were those reactions to police murdering someone, right? So if the police did not murder George Floyd, for example, would Minneapolis have had civil unrest? People died during the civil unrest in Minneapolis. Would those people still be alive if the cops did not murder George Floyd? Probably. Reinhardt, are you going to respond to me? I'm not saying poverty is not a factor in crime. I'm saying defunding the police makes crime worse. I mean, you have no evidence for that. I can say anything. This is clearly coffee, but this is now I'm now drinking Jolly Ranchers, you know, because why not? Like, if I just say it's true, I mean, okay, yummy. Yummy. All right. I don't know. Yo, my back. Anyway. I think we're done here. I'm not sure if this guy is sending their best, so I think we're done here. Nice try, though. I gave you a shot, but if you want to come back with a thesis and, like, call me on my show or something, feel free to do so when you've got your facts together and stuff, when you got your arguments. So if you want to do this tomorrow, fuck it, hit me up. But unbelievable. I think this guy's probably just some, like, racist goober who's trying to say, like, people are, like, inherently evil or something. The Minneapolis Police Department has yet to be defunded. The city council, to my understanding, voted to disband the police department altogether, but through a series of legal loopholes, they were unable to do so. And even if that's the case, a lot of these countries, when they're voting to defund the police, they're doing so in the ways of budgetary concerns. So, for example, if you defund the police's budget, you know, it's going to take at least a year for the police to actually be properly defunded at any actual context, right? So even if they vote for these defunds, they're not taking place immediately. So again, the crime wave has nothing to do. We saw rising in crime before George Floyd was murdered. So if your thesis is that Black Lives Matter and defund the police are criminals, then you're just a racist. I'm sorry. But if your thesis is, I don't know, maybe civil unrest in general creates more violent outcomes, then maybe we should work on preventing civil unrest. Like, I don't know, having police forces that don't use deadly force on people. I don't know. Think about it. But again, you're not sending your best, so I think it's good to ignore you for now. And if you want to come back tomorrow, Reinhardt, again, you're more than welcome to come back tomorrow. But I will see you later. Y'all have a good one. Get your charts. And I will see you tomorrow, buddy. But let's get into our main course for today. Let's get in to the main course. Everybody. The course that we all know. The course that we all love. All right. I just gave them a timeout. So again, they can hit me up tomorrow if they want. They can hit me up tomorrow. All right. Sometimes when I drink just black coffee in the morning, it makes me a little acidic, so I'm going to try to balance that out. Coffee is naturally pretty acidic, so if you drink black coffee and you don't balance it out with water like a normal person would, it can alter the pH in your body a little bit and cause acid reflux, which is not fun. So just drink some water and you're good to go. All right. Okay. So, before we get started, I would like to ask everyone, how is everyone doing today? Like, in general, I drink coffee black when I'm trying to fast, or do intermittent fasting. If I am not trying to do so, I drink coffee with milk, typically soy milk, but I'm trying almond milk recently. I know, but I'm just giving it a shot. I've only had it like once before ever, so I'm trying almond milk right now. And I usually combine it with peanut butter powder. You can find powdered peanut butter. I'm sure you can find it even in Ukraine. But it's basically peanut butter in powdered form. It's basically kind of just concentrated fibrous materials and concentrated proteins. So you just mix that in, and you've got peanut butter flavored coffee, and you got like, just 10 grams of protein, 4 grams of fiber. It's a nice kickstart to the day. So, Kurt, are you from Minneapolis? Poverty plus being cooped up in a pandemic / stir crazy have definitely been biggest factors. Absolutely. Again, like, it's just material conditions are more indicative than. Like, I just can't understand how, like, the mentality of, like, the person who looks out the window, defund the police, and then they get their gun. All right, it's time to kill. I can't fathom that person. Like, oh, there's a bunch of people outside saying they want to defund the police. Let me get my guns. Like, besides Trump people, the only time I've ever seen that are like Trump people posting on Parler, right? So it's like, if the goal is to try to say that left-wingers are violent, you're not doing that good of a job. Yo, I love the ninja emoji to represent black bloc. It's good as fuck. Oh! There's hemp milk. Bongo Dave. There's hemp milk? What? Go on. You already found garlic powder? Well, that's good. I would say peanut butter powder is maybe a little bit more niche than garlic powder, but, whatever. Alright, y'all. I'm going to make fun of some dumb motherfuckers right here. I'm going to make fun of some dumb motherfuckers. So, prepare yourselves, because it's go time. Alright, so I've been getting let's just say I've been getting a significant amount of what I potentially would like to call bots. I think there may be Russian bots. And I'm not entirely sure if you could prove me wrong. I've been getting a lot of hate mail from Jimmy Dore fanboys, and I came across this clip here of Jimmy Dore, Medicare for All personified. I came across this clip of this guy basically just walking back M4A because Tulsi Gabbard did and because she went on his show. So I would like to watch this clip. I've not watched this in full. But again, I'm getting a lot of Russian bots in my comment section. They're just telling me, like, you're a corporate shill. Jimmy Dore literally, ate M4A, and it became a part of his body, and it's a part of his bloodstream. His veins are coursing with Medicare for All. And when you say that he did something bad or is a bad person, then that makes you bad, because facts and logic. Again, they're Russian bots. They're not sending their best. So, speaking of people that aren't sending their best, let's watch Jimmy Dore.
Single payer plus. But people are...
Now, again, I would like to remind you, who is supporting Medicare for All in the primary? Bernie Sanders. Who did Jimmy Dore support in the primary? This fucking bitch.
Saying, oh, Tulsi flip-flopped on Medicare for All. Now, you seem to be not wanting to outlaw private insurance, more like, say, what works in Australia.
That's
so
right.
Now I'm very familiar. I've been to Australia. I know how their system works. So that, to me, is 1,000% improvement. That certainly is still Medicare for All, but you still are a firm supporter of Medicare for All. You just have a little bit, and it's not...
The term Medicare for All has...
So I just want to keep in mind, anyone strategy is a corporate neoliberal sellout in the eyes of the Jimmy Dore fanboys, right? But when Jimmy Dore just, accepts right-wing talking points, when Jimmy Dore just says, Medicare for All is okay with private insurance, it's not like private insurance is predatory or whatever, right? This is extremely in line with Jimmy Dore also saying things like, oh, it's not capitalism that's the problem. It's the politicians that are making capitalism worse, whatever that means, right? So keep in mind, this is the Medicare for All avatar. This is, I'm talking about Avatar The Last Airbender, right? This guy is Medicare for All. Imagine Medicare for All is the avatar spirit, and Jimmy Dore is the current incarnation, right? This guy is the avatar of Medicare for All, just all right, Tulsi, you're on my show. Well, I guess I don't care about Medicare for all now because you came on my show.
And it's not.
The term Medicare for all has become
Right.
something so ambiguous and meaning something different to so many other people.
I just, Medicare for all who want it, Medicare for America, Medicare for all, but every time I hear this, it's Medicare for all, but. Like, I'm not racist, but, I love all my transgender friends, but Medicare for all, but let's go on.
People.
So there's two things about her healthcare plan. One, the beauty of it is that it takes away the right-wing talking point. Most people are for single payer, but they can talk them out of it or scare people with how they couch it. And so Tulsi's approach takes that talking point away. It takes the talking point away of, hey, they're going to take away your health care. They're going to take away your health care. They're going to make it illegal for you to...
Keep in mind, what happens? How do you get rid of a right-wing talking point? Answer me this, okay? You compromise your principles and your values. That's how you get rid of a right-wing talking point. Well, guess what? I've got news for you. Now, what happens if you compromise on your principles and values and then the right wing doesn't stop? Well, that's what happened with the Democratic primary. People chose Joe Biden, right? People chose Joe Biden over Bernie Sanders because they didn't want to be called communists. What did Donald Trump do? And what did the House and the Senate Republicans do all day, every day? They called Joe Biden a communist. So the Democrats caved and compromised on their principles and sacrificed what they truly believed in to go for the safe route, right? Because they didn't want Republicans to use their right-wing talking points. And you know what happened? They just used them anyway. That's what Barack Obama did. That's why we don't even have a public option. Because this guy compromised out of the gate. That's what Tulsi Gabbard did. That's what Jimmy Dore here is defending, Jimbo Dumbo. But this is still your guy. This is still the guy that you're going to stand all day, every day. Again, it's this not like the Russian bots in my comment section. They're not just saying, oh, you disagree with Jimmy. Well, I like Jimmy. Some of them are, right? Some of them are. And I appreciate that. You're allowed to like Jimmy Dore and I'm not allowed to like Jimmy Dore. That's okay. But when you come on my show and say that I hate poor people because I don't like some rich comedian, I'm sorry, it's embarrassing. But let's continue to see this guy waffle on Medicare for all, which should be a core principle. But this is Jimmy Dore 8 months ago waffling on
to get private health insurance, and then the government's going to run in. And so that takes away all that because they're not outlawing private health insurance. There's a problem with that. My preference is for a Bernie's plan, but the overall important thing is that everybody pays into the single-payer Medicare. It's certainly 1,000 times better than Obamacare. It's not quite Bernie's plan, but the beauty of it is it takes away that right-wing talking point of scaring people about they're going to take away your health care. They're going to take away your private health insurance. They're going to make it illegal for you to get. So that takes away that. It's like 6 of 1, half a dozen, right? So the part about Bernie's plan is that it can be hacked at.
Can we just talk about like how unintelligent this guy is? I know. I'm so sorry here. But like, I'm trying to like, and maybe it's because I'm stoned, right? But I'm trying to like follow along as to what this guy is saying, right? And maybe it's like the cuts or whatever. I don't know what's going on. But this is like barely under, like, what is he talking about? Like, the guy is like stumbling over his words. He's like, in Bernie's plan, and I prefer Bernie's plan, but here's why Bernie's plan is worse. And it's like, what?
About Bernie's plan is that it can be hack that with that right-wing talking point, and we've seen it successfully done. That they can lower people's approval of single-payer by scaring them that way. Again, I think the gold standard is Bernie's plan. I think what Tulsi's plan does that's good is that it takes away that right-wing talking point while still enrolling everyone in a single-payer system. Are there problems with it? Sure. Is it as good?
I'm sorry.
Problems with it? Sure. Is it as good as Bernie's? No. But again, it's like you.
There it is. Say Medicare for all, but Medicare for all, but.
But again, it's like you're making a trade-off.
I'm sorry. I'm just doing it again.
No. But
I'm sorry.
No. But
Look at I love this guy struggling to think. Like, he's trying to, like, you know, have the neurons fire. He's, like, you know, shaking his brain to, you know, like, you know, when you shake, like, you know, you shake something like a chocolate milk or something. You're shaking a chocolate milk before you drink it, right? To make sure all the high fructose corn syrup is equally distributed, right? This is what this guy's doing. He's shaking his brain. No, but it's just so good.
Is it as good as Bernie's? No. But again, it's like you're making a trade-off.
You just make it's like a game of tug of war. You make it a trade-off. What does that mean? You make it a trade-off. What? You make it a trade-off? What? But this is the guy that the Russian bots are coming at me with. Again, the Russian bots, right? And I think I'm gonna do this in a separate video. But I'm getting some Russian motherfucking bots here. Like, and I'm going to go over this in a second, right? Some of these Russian bots are, you know, they're respectable and I appreciate them. But I'm getting some Russian bots nonetheless trying to tell me that this guy is like, again, this guy is some hero. Jimmy Dore's been fighting for Medicare for all so long. It's like the guy was against it 8 months ago. The guy was supporting Tulsi Gabbard up until she dropped out, like, and she dropped out, like, last, but, like, she was the last person before Bernie to drop out. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I can't with these motherfucking dullards, right? But I'm sorry. Like, these Jimbo, Dumbo, dumbass motherfuckers, unbelievable. But again, they're not sending their best.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Oh my God. Drilo Stams, why can't you just charge the privately insured to support Medicare? What do you mean? Just charge the privately insured, like via a tax? Because that's what would theoretically happen with a public option. The problem with allowing health insurance companies to continue to exist is, one, they have killed hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and therefore they should be held accountable. I personally think every CEO of every health insurance company should be sent to prison for the rest of their lives, okay? That's number one, and I want to make this explicitly clear, so I'm going to tack this on at the end here. Two, the reason why you cannot have predatory private insurance continue to exist is because as long as they exist, they will always lobby for their interests, right? So look at what happened with half measures during the New Deal, right? Like living wage increases, right? Labor rights. What happened? They were chipped away at over the course of the next 40 years and then eventually killed by Ronald Reagan. There was no, like, they utilized things like inflation to undo the minimum wage gains and to undo all that. They just used inflation to basically just make sure, oh yeah, you're still getting, and you know, you're still getting a raise, but you know, we're also gonna, you know, decrease the value of this currency that you're getting a raise in, and then over the course of time, the productivity to wages, like, right, like, so that's another problem. They will always fight for their interests. We need to kill those motherfuckers. And when I say kill, I mean like the insurance companies, not people. I want to be explicitly clear. You need to get rid of their incentive to continue to grow because they are a cancer. Those are the two most important reasons. And if you don't believe those things, or if you waffle on those things, I'm sorry. But when you say you're to the left of me, I laugh at you. I spit in your face because you're a dullard. You are a dullard, okay? So I'm gonna thank you for asking that, Drelo Stamps. I'm not talking to you personally. I'm just talking to the ethereal person who might watch the clip when I upload it. So I just want that to be clear. I'm not talking to you personally. So I just want that to be clear. But thank you for asking the question because otherwise I wouldn't have answered the question. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. But yeah, those are my two big reasons. But yeah, I want to actually go into the Russian bots. By the way, this is the intermission here. I'm going to get into the Russian bots part. Like, okay, so I know, these motherfuckers, right? They keep calling me like a neoliberal corporate shill because I'm transgender, and that makes sense in their brains. So I'm really I'm going to call them Russian bots. I'm going to call them deplorables. and I'm gonna really lean into like the HRC thing, because I think it's just really funny. Like these people, like again, they're standing a comedian, like the guy that he's just a comedian, bro, right? And these guys like can't like. The only comedian that's allowed to make a joke is Jimmy Dore, right? Like, so these motherfuckers get pissed when I say, like, make a joke. But when Jimmy Dore mocks transgender people and says trans women are men, right? That's fine. It's just a joke, right? It's just a joke. But when I call someone a Russian bot, oh, you're a corporate shill, right? So I'm leaning into this. And again, this is popcorn for me. This is going to be paying my rent next month. So I'm just having fun with it. Let me drink my coffee. Hello, Church of Organic Life. Great username. Health insurance is about creating a huge pool to spread the risk. Private insurance is about picking the people with low risk. Exactly. And it takes a dullard to not really know that. It really does. I'm sorry. It just takes you got to be one big ass dullard. All right, everyone. Are you ready for this? All right. Okay. I love that. I'm going to have so much fun. All right. So I've been getting an influx of Russian bots attacking my Jimmy Dore videos. And I made a video about this yesterday. And that video can be found right here. And again, there's so many people that just left some very bizarre comments. And I'm really starting to think, and again, I say this with complete sincerity. I'm not joking whatsoever when I say this. I'm really starting to believe in the Russian bot thing, because like when, Democrats were like, Rachel Maddow was like Russia over and over again, and Hillary Clinton was like, Russia's the reason I lost. I was skeptical. I wasn't a huge fan of that, but they might have a point. And so I just want to kind of like go through some of these comments here, because one, I think these people are dullards. And then two, I like making fun of dullards. And then three, I mean, it's just like they're going to continue making comments on my videos. So I'm just going to keep getting money from them. So, I mean, that, it's a win-win-win, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's a win, a win, a win. But I've got a nice comment here from Jillian or Gillian. I'm not, it could be either or, who, gave a middle ground. And I want to be very upfront about this, right? I don't mind if you like Jimmy and you like me. If you, I can dislike anyone that you can like. I can like anyone that you can dislike, right? If you cancel me because we have one disagreement, personally, I think that's childish. Now, you have the right to do so. You are free to do so, right? But we're allowed to disagree. There's probably people out there that you find despicable, right? That I don't mind. That's probably true, right? And vice versa. So I don't mind if you're willing to, see what I have to say and then see what he has to say. That's fine with me. No problem. Where the problem comes, right, when people call me a corporate neoliberal sellout, right? That's the weird part. But I want to read this comment here. Maybe I'll not read the whole thing, but, I just want to be very upfront with that. Because this is the one good comment. And I want to be clear. This is the one good comment, right? So the rest, it's downhill from here. Sorry, Andrea, I couldn't do the music. Parents, my autism, parents, but I really support Force the Vote. And I'm a fan of yours, so I thought I'd have my say. I have a lot of respect for Jimmy Dore. Note, do I think he's perfect, flawless? Hell to the no, but in terms of political leaning, I think he's brutally honest. I think his delivery at times is risky, but I have never been through what he went through with medical bankruptcy and the years of unnecessary suffering. Now, just for context, I've gone through a medical bankruptcy. Or at least my family did, when I was a teenager, okay? Because partially of my, situation. So I'm just throwing that out there. A lot of people come to troll me, think I'm like, oh, I'm some lucky, privileged bruncher with healthcare. No, motherfucker, I'm just being straight, okay? So I'm just giving you the straight dope, as the kids would say, right? And the years of unnecessary suffering, but just excruciating pain. But the financial and relationship stress such circumstances inevitably bring. I think brings out in him a deep anger at the fleecing of the people. That's one of my primary sources of anger as well. Is because, like I was saying before, I think private health insurance, I think if you work for private health insurance in any leadership position, I think you should be sent to prison for the rest of your life. You have done untold amounts of damage on our society, and you are just a leech. You're a cancer cell if you work in leadership at a private health insurance company. That's my opinion. So I'm going to skip a little bit of this, and I'm going to go to... I had it, right? But I had it. Okay, do I think all people who listen to Jimmy Dore are transphobic? God, no. But the ones that troll will. Now, I want to be very clear again, right? There's a difference between, like, guilt by association. Oh, if you like Jimmy Dore and he's transphobic, therefore you're transphobic. That is not my argumentation. That is not my argumentation, right? So one of my videos, I played a clip of him and then gave supporting evidence to prove that this guy is just not a fan of trans people, right? Now, the problem is when you tell me that I'm an SJW corporate shill who's focused on identity politics. Oh, and by the way, I'm also transphobic and Jimmy's not transphobic, right? That's the problem. If you see someone calling trans women men in a stand-up routine and say that's not transphobic, that is being transphobic. If you see someone doing that and then saying, yeah, that's pretty bad, but, you know, that was 20 years ago, and I think he's a better person now, that's fine, okay? We can have a disagreement on that, but that's fine. And I want to have that first, that's got to be first and foremost, okay? But I'm going to end by this. I'm not transphobic, but I'm interested in the dialogue, and sometimes it's scary to ask questions or raise issues for fear of being misunderstood. Now, again, the video clip in question was Jimmy Dore saying, oh, if you find out your fiance has a dick, then they're a man. That's the joke, all right? That's not a question. That's not raising an issue. If someone ever, wants to, in good faith, ask me personal questions about being trans or anything related to that, I am more than welcome. You are more than welcome to come on my show if you want to do it publicly, or just reach out to me in private and I'll get to you when I can, right? So that is something I'm more than happy to do, all right? So, but again, there's a problem where if you're defending someone and saying they're not transphobic because whatever, when they're clearly transphobic. That's where the problem is. And with that being said, let's get into the dullards, right? Because boy, howdy. All right, there's some dullards here, okay? So again, that was the one good comment. So here we have 777 Killad. No, what a cult is worshiping politicians and never holding them accountable. Nice try, crazy person. Goodbye. And then right afterward, they edited their comment, and then they were like, the edit's not enough. I gotta post another comment, right? So then this motherfucker's like, by the way, you're totally unstable. I hope you start taking some medication soon for your sake, right? Again, why did this person say this? Because I dared to criticize someone for making transphobic jokes and platforming transphobic politicians and agreeing with transphobic politicians and promoting those politicians. So that's what makes me totally unstable. Okay, interesting. Let's move on. Your excuses are nothing but whiny, important, lip dick bullshit. And then the same person has to say, it's simple. Should the squad get something for their speakership vote? What single central policy issue that is the most popular, relevant, and necessary would be the best to get a force to vote to galvanize and promote? The answers are yes and M4A. First of all, the answer is yes and $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. Medicare for All is great, but that will not happen overnight. We can do daily or monthly cash transfers overnight. We can do that right now, and that would make people's lives better right now. That would help them afford certain healthcare bits right now, and we can do that right now. You cannot in any capacity tell me in any situation where in 6 months we'll have Medicare for All, because even if it does get passed, it's going to get passed with at least a 2-year time span, because we're not going to be able to transfer to that system overnight. So you dumb motherfucker, get that through your head, you Russian bot, dumbass, deplorable piece of garbage, okay? Right. Now, again, this video itself is making fun of Jimmy Dore fanboys, right? It's super bizarre that they think, okay, this person's making fun of commenters, therefore they're against Medicare for All? What? That is not, there's no correlation there. Making fun of a dumbass in a comment section does not mean I'm against Medicare for All, motherfucker. You are a dullard. But let's move on. So they say, LMAO. Oh yeah, JD is transphobic because Tulsi put a bill forward. You realize she's not relevant, right? And that's got nothing to do with JD's support of her anti-war emphasis. Again, Jimmy Dore famously said, who gives a fuck about India? Jimmy Dore famously took money from Syrian related people, right? This guy is not an anti-war dude. This guy doesn't give a fuck about foreign policy. He doesn't. This guy supported the coup in Brazil, for example. This guy doesn't give a fuck, right? Doesn't give a fuck, okay? Also, by the way, Bernie was to the left on foreign policy compared to Tulsi Gabbard. But again, this guy doesn't even know. The video that this person is responding to is a direct clip of Jimmy Dore being transphobic, and they don't even know what I'm talking about. That's because they didn't watch the video. That's because they had a triggered baby boy meltdown at the title of the video and decided to cry and whine in the comment section immediately without fucking watching the damn thing, and it makes them look like a fucking goddamn idiot. So, let's move on. I don't know who this person is, but total clown. JD is most certainly not a transphobe. Again, they're not watching the fucking video that they're commenting on, but okay. These are the ramblings of someone who's emotionally and mentally unstable. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. And then Stacy E, resident dullard, comes in. You got called out. You don't have an answer. Please reassess your life decisions. Your heads up, ass, commenting on Jimmy Dore. I would no doubt insult me as some kind of Jimmy Dore sycophant in a display of textbook projection. That's a bunch of words that mean nothing. You might as well listen to a Pete Buttigieg fucking acceptance speech for Secretary of Transportation. When I was a kid, I was a fan of transportation. I rode on a bus. And that's why I'm quite like, what you just said nothing, you dumb idiot. But okay, let's move on. Another fallacious argument. I've been to Jimmy's live shows in Portland. I've literally seen trans people at his shows. Well, that's good for you. That's good for you. I'm glad, okay? People can disagree. That's great. That doesn't mean that you gotta carry water for the guy and say that what he clearly did, right, is not good. And then also, this person, I'm assuming they're a she, is going to defend Tulsi Gabbard's bill, which is just, again, that's above and beyond, so let's go. I also read the bill Tulsi proposed, and have seen her voting record and approval from the largest LGBT organization in the U.S. You seem to be incapable of making a point without employing illogical fallacies and fallacious arguments. If I just say fallacy over and over and over again, it's a fallacy! Like, what are you, 13? What did you just read your first, fucking Sam Harris book, and you're like, damn, I just picked up, I'm gonna insult, I'm now a libertarian. I'm going, fallacies, you're fallacious, like, what? Like, if you've read Tulsi's bill and you're still claiming that she's not transphobic, I'm sorry, you're a dullard. You're a fucking dullard, right? But let's move on, okay? Let's see. Alright, this one's good. Let's break it down, Cyber. It's time. Alright, you ready? You ready? Alright, let's break it down. It's time. You have chosen to go with the corporate identity left and make content like that of any other channel of its ilk, pushing essentialism, being okay with corporate power. Dude, motherfucker, my entire show is about how capitalism is the root of all evil. I think capitalism is the root of all evil. That is the prime directive of this channel. And this person's saying, so, you're transgender? That must mean you love corporations.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
What the fuck? But let's go. That wasn't even that was just the first sentence. Alright. That wasn't even the first sentence. That was the first half of the first sentence. Let's go. Looking over U.S. imperialism. What the fuck? Again! Jimmy Dore famously said, who gives a fuck about India? Jimmy Dore famously supporting the coup in Brazil. This guy is the foreign policy hero? What? Okay, but okay, sure. And pushing centrist Democrat propaganda. This is first of all, what centrist Democrat propaganda did I push? If anything, I'm supporting, if you want to make an argument that I'm agreeing with a politician, I'm more in AOC's strategic realm. But she's not a centrist Democrat. Unless the argument is that AOC having a slight difference on strategy and not policy makes her a centrist? I don't know. It's a dumbass fucking argument. And I don't even agree with AOC all the way. I think she's being a little bit too timid, but I understand her position, right? So I respect her position at that point, right? But again, let's move on, because it gets worse, right? These people, again, they're not sending their best. They're dullards. But there's an anti-corporate, pro-working class, and anti-identity class basis strain of leftists. Call them populists, if you wish. What does that mean, anti-identity class? You know what that means? Nazi. That's what that means? What did the Nazis want to do? They were in favor of healthcare programs. They were in favor of climate control programs. They were in favor of expanding transportation and infrastructure. You know what else they were in favor of? Getting rid of all the ones that weren't them, motherfucker. That was kind of the whole fucking point, is we're gonna cull the world, we're gonna get rid of the bad ones, and then we're gonna make Earth like some fucking white people world haven. That's like, what is anti-identity? That's what that is. It's, yeah, we hate the corporations and we want to make the world better for all of us. Fuck the trans people, fuck them, you know, fuck those people, who cares, right? Like, that, what argument is that? Anti-identity? What? Like, ding dong, but again, they're not sending their best.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I just don't understand. But again, it keeps going. And then calls them populists, by the way. Like, oh yeah, I'm a populist? Yeah, I'm a populist? Right, yeah, no. That's the popular thing? Right, that's I'm popular, okay. That simply have rejected this narrative. I don't even know what the narrative is. It's just, like, this is all, again, this is like a Pete Buttigieg fucking Iowa, you have shocked the nation moment. Like, this guy has said nothing. You have chosen to go with the corporate, they haven't cited any source. They haven't cited any of my arguments that are corporate. They have cited nothing. It's just a bunch of babble with platitudes and meaningless words. You might as well say, like, and then liberty and freedom and justice will prevail. Oh, liberty. Oh, and then freedom. And then liberty. Like, you're saying nothing, but let's go on. You might think the group you chose will treat trans people better than the other. What group? I didn't choose a group. So this person is presuming that I've chosen corporations. I have not chosen corporations, right? But also that I've chosen a group. What fucking group have I chosen? What? But they're not going to tell me what group I've chosen. They're going to say, you might think that the group you've chosen will do. They're not going to identify the group. They're not going to cite the timestamp of where I chose the group. They're just going to say in this some bizarro, like, oh, there's a group and you chose the group. And I'm not going to say what the group is. And I don't know what the group is. And you don't know what the group is, but this group, oh, yes, it's a group. Like, what? They simply are using your identity as a shield. They only care about you if you serve their purpose. Who? Who is they? They has not been identified. I don't know. So I respond with corporate what? I'm an anarchist, you dunce. So let's go. Then why do you promote essentialism and intersectionality in every chance? First of all, I don't know what essentialism is. What the fuck is essentialism? Second of all, I support intersectionality because human rights are fucking important. You don't support intersectionality? That sounds like all lives matter bullshit. Oh, I mean, I have a black friend, but you know, all lives matter? That's literally what you're doing, dude. That is the all lives matter equivalent of whatever what is that? Why are you supporting intersectionality? Intersectionality is so gross. All lives. Why are you saying Black Lives Matter? All lives matter. Why are you being so essential? Why are you being such an essentialist when you say Black Lives Matter when all lives matter? Like, what? Like, I just. But again.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
They're not sending their best. I see Skeptical Mantis is in the chat room right now, which I'm so excited for, because you just got here in time, because I'm about to get to your part in the script. So even Max is here. Max is excited. Max, are you ready? We're gonna make fun of another chatter. Are you ready? See, even Max is so ready for this. All right, Skeptical Mantis, channel 10. Oh. Max, can you please stop? Don't step on that. Please stop. Max, please stop. Please stop. Can you please? Okay, anyway. Intersectionality can fit with revolutionary Oh, yeah, actually, never mind. I remember I read this part, and this is actually where you get good. Oh, yeah, no, you posted dumb shit in another thread. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Skeptical Mantis. My bad. Here we go. Here we go. You're in the other tab. You're in the other tab. Max, I swear to God. All right. 11:30. You asked if Jimmy was calling for shutting things down and protesting. You don't know. You want to have a strong opinion on something you don't know. Jimmy was strongly supporting the George Floyd and protests, condemning Max, I swear to God, in the harshest possible terms. By the way, so was I. Just for reference, so was I, right? I understand, Max. I understand. I'm excited, you're excited, I understand, okay? Well, Bernie, who you like, was nowhere to be seen. Like, can we talk about how, like, there's a difference between being addicted to someone's podcast and, like, being moderately approving of someone as a politician? Liking Jimmy Dore, first of all, ow, you hit me with your fucking tail, you prick. Jimmy Dore is not a politician. I judge him as a YouTuber. Do I watch all of Bernie Sanders' YouTube shows? No, I don't. I watched, like, most of them, you know, maybe in February, like, for that 1 month when things were looking pretty good, right? But as a YouTuber, Bernie Sanders, I don't really like him as a YouTuber. I like him as a politician. So the idea that Skeptical Mantis, as skeptical as you are, right? The idea that you're just not understanding that these are completely different calculations when you judge these completely different kinds of people. I'm sorry, man, but come on. Come on. Come on. Also, I watched Majority Report, and they definitely did condemn cops with vigor. Now, I don't know, I didn't watch Jimmy, so I can't make a calculation, but they both, I'm willing to bet that they both did not condemn cops as hard as I did. So don't try to question my credibility here, buddy. Like, you and I both know I am way in this direction when it comes to both of those motherfucking channels. Now, this is another comment that I thought was very bizarre from Skeptical Mantis here. So, I don't like Tulsi. She's almost as bad as Bernie. That's my problem with this. That's my problem, is you have to be addicted to this idea that Bernie Sanders is like the worst person ever. Was Tulsi Gabbard out there supporting $2,000 stimulus payments every day? No, Tulsi Gabbard was writing anti-transgender legislation. So the idea that you think Tulsi Gabbard is better than Bernie on anything, I'm sorry, it's laughable, it's dumb, and like, I know she's got a nice ass and you love the workout videos, but my God, man, like seriously, that is not like a calculation you want to stick by. Alright? Let's go. So Chris back at it again. Wait, you don't like Jimmy Dore? No one cares about what you think or feel about Dore. We need you to force the vote because it's smart politics. Again, I'm in favor of forcing the vote on $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. I'm in favor of occupying the Capitol, forcing the vote on Medicare for All, which is a system that would not even be able to be even in effect for at least like a year at the very minimum. I'm sorry, I would rather have cash transfers right now, but whatever, okay? But again, my video is literally playing a clip of him being transphobic. Like, it's not about Medicare for All. It's about how Jimmy Dore is a bad person. And this person is coming in here and again, presuming that Jimmy Dore is like some almighty ethereal creature, the avatar of Medicare for All. And like, if you're criticizing Jimmy, you're criticizing Medicare for All. They're the same thing. It's like they're synonymous. It's like, what the fuck? It's bizarre. It's super bizarre. Right. And then Skeptical Mantis bringing it back. Will you ever address Cornel West or any other prominent leftist going on a show? I have addressed that, right? It's just that, you know, there's a difference between you demanding I address everything over and over again because you don't feel like looking for it, and me actually doing it or not. So I'm just saying that out there. So I addressed this shit way, like I addressed this shit like weeks ago, like on Twitter and like YouTube videos and my podcast. It's not my fault you don't, and I'm not trying to say you should listen to all my shows, right? When I say I don't know if Jimmy Dore does something, I say I don't know. You, on the other hand, when you say if you don't know if I've done something, you just presume that I haven't. And I think that is a very unskeptical analysis, personally, and that's my opinion. However, yeah, I respect Cornel West. Cornel West has a lot of opinions that I disagree with. This is one of them. I respect him going on Jimmy Dore's show. I respect him going on there and making more people aware of who he is. I think his message is wonderful. I think Cornel West is one of the smartest people of our time and of his time that's still with us and stuff. I love Cornel West. I love him. And I disagree with him on this issue. I know, those two things are possible, okay? So anyway, I'm getting a little bored here. There's another one. A person with mental disorders calling other people dumb. Again, the video is just me playing a clip of Jimmy Dore being transphobic. And it's like, Jimmy Dore is not transphobic. You have mental disorders. Right? And then here we got this one, Jocko. We get it. You're basically, this Russian bot dude, you're basically a one-trick pony for trans rights. Fine. Forget about M4A. What? My video has nothing to do with Medicare for All. It has nothing to do with Medicare for All. And also, I'm a trans person. What does that mean? I'm a one-trick pony for trans rights. Do you go to Black Lives Matter protests and say, why are you, but all lives matter? Are you just one-trick ponies for black rights? What are you, black extremists? All lives matter. I think all genders matter. It's why are you so obsessed with trans? I know that you are trans, but why are you so like? But again.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
It's unreal, right? It's unreal. But again, I'm done. I can't go on anymore. I've actually spent way too long on this. I smoked a whole ass cone, well, maybe like 80% of it, and I just kind of forgot what time it was. But thank you I love making fun of dullards, and I want to be first and I want to be upfront about that. I love making fun of Russian bots. I love making fun of deplorables, and if they want to give me more comments, I'll keep doing this every single day. That's right. I love the views, baby. I'm grifting. You damn right I'm grifting. You see this? You see this? I grifted this. I grifted this motherfucker from you because you're gonna click on the video. You're gonna fucking comment on the video. I'm gonna fucking make fun of you. And then you're gonna comment again and click the video again. And it's gonna get more views and more ad revenue. And then all of a sudden, I'm gonna have 2 of these, right? And then I'll be able to buy something. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for watching. Sailor Nasheed, you arguing with little white boys is such a waste of... I know, but it's fun. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. Skeptical Mantis, I have things to do, prior engagements. If you want to come on again on my show tomorrow, or like maybe, I don't know if you're busy tomorrow, it is, whatever. But if you want to come on my show in the next couple days, more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Because I would love to hash this out once again. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I have to go to do stuff, and I forgot what time it was because I just smoked a lot of weed before doing this. So I will see y'all later, and that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and if you didn't, then fuck you. And if you did, then also fuck you. So just throwing that out there. Just a retweet, You can decide for yourself. Who knows?
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
Throughout the summer, Democrats cruelly blocked in the Gulf of Mexico a provision to promote the breeding of fish in federal hatcheries. $3 million in poultry production technology, $2 million to research the impact of down trees are essentially not open. $5 million to Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. $40 million for the Kennedy Center
Only
in
the
Washington,
really,
D.C., which is not even open for business. $1 billion for the Smithsonian, and an additional $154 million for the National Gallery of Art. Likewise, these facilities are essentially not open. $7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. Dollars to combat Asian carp. Dollars to combat Asian carp. Asian car, 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 Asian car. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish. Asian car, Asian car, Asian car, Asian car, Asian car, Asian car, breeding of fish in federal hatcheries in the Gulf of Mexico. 8 years to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. Congress found plenty of money for foreign countries, lobbyists, and special interests while sending the bare minimum to the American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault, not their fault. American people who need it. It wasn't their fault. It was China's fault. Likewise, these facilities are essentially not open.